I love grass. I love the feeling of a fresh bud when I hold it in my hand. I really like grass. I love the way it feels on my bare foot when I trek through a jungle. I bet you guys were thinking that I was talking about marijuana, and you were quick to judge also. Some of you might have cracked a wise joke, like look who's talking. But somebody has to talk. Unfortunately, today in our society, drugs and addiction are considered a taboo. As in, talking about them itself is considered a taboo. But people do talk about some addictions like caffeine, alcohol, tobacco. That is okay. They talk about it, they let it happen, they joke about it. But why are some addictions okay to talk about and why are the rest not? How long can this be a taboo? We have to break the taboo. The topic of drugs is like a minefield. It has multiple complex layers. So how do we understand such a complicated topic if we do not address it and do not talk about it? I think it's time we spoke about it. Today, I'm here to moderate a conversation about this minefield called drugs with Mr. C. Rajesh Reddy, neurophysician, Apollo. I'm here today with your life talking about this. Hello, Dr. Rajesh. Thank you so much for your time, sir. Thank you so much for coming to share your 20 years of experience. So let's start from the beginning, sir. Why do people consume substance?
So basically, there are many substances which are being consumed traditionally in our country, and you know that India is the second largest populous state in the world. And no wonder substance use and abuse is very common in our country. Although there are some which everybody knows is about smoking, and the other one is alcoholism, and that is legal, and probably substance abuse is more common in these two entities.
At least people are okay talking about it and it seems okay.
Absolutely. So it is even for a general average person in our country, it seems like it is not a very harmful thing as long as you take within limitations. Although there are, from a medical point of view, cigarette smoking obviously is not
There's no acceptable limit.
acceptable. Not even one cigarette is advisable by any of the doctors. But in terms of alcohol, yes, there have been some reports saying that moderate intake of alcohol, around 60 ml in men and 30 ml in women per day, has shown some beneficial effects in terms of preventing heart strokes. And there are also some data which says that it also tries to prevent the brain stroke.
I would say that this data is being grossly misrepresented, and then people have no moderation of things.
So, but when the people come to us and ask about the same thing, we tell them that no, it's definitely harmful, because there are equal number of papers which suggest that
Otherwise,
they are otherwise. Even if you ask a gastroenterologist, he will say that even a drop of alcohol is toxic for the liver. So likewise, this alcohol intake can lead to hemorrhagic strokes, brain hemorrhage. There are two kinds of strokes. One is clotting-related stroke, and the other one is bleeding-related stroke. Alcohol has been shown to reduce a little bit the clot-related stroke, but on the contrary, it can increase the hemorrhage-related strokes as in general. But these are the ones which are very much legalized, and we need to have them in limitations. When they're excess, obviously there are complications related to that. But we'll also try to move around what are considered to be legal and what is a lot of social taboo, and how much is what is within safe limits, how much is unsafe. So traditionally, if you see, even in before Christ period, even Puranas, it has mentioned that people used to consume cannabis-related marijuana. Now, after alcohol and smoking, this is the third largest substance abuse in our country.
in India.
In India.
Today.
In India. Just for example, if you see a national household survey which was done, I think it was about a decade ago, in which it was found, and people in general was asked about did you consume alcohol or smoking or any other substance in the last 1 year, 1 month, and are you taking it daily on an addiction basis? It was found that about 30% of people in our country consume at least one cigarette in their lifetime.
One cigarette.
That's very surprising. That was really surprising to me when I heard that.
To try it out.
And at least 10% of them consume on a daily basis and have taken in the last 1 month. If it comes to alcohol, about 25% of them have taken once in their lifetime.
35.
25. 21% of them have taken the last month, 1 month, but only about 3.6%, which considering our populous nature of our country, 3.6 is huge. It's almost 4 to 5 crore people are actually using it excessively to the extent of what is called as alcohol dependence. When it comes to cannabis or marijuana, it is about 4.6% approximately in the country. They have taken at least once in their lifetime. Now, imagine that's a huge one, and it is not legal at all now. And still, that is going on when you ask in survey. Whereas cannabis as a form of addiction is only about 1%, 1.6%. And after cannabis, then we have what is called opium or opium derivatives, which did not actually originate in our country. Opium actually was told as came from Middle East. You're right. It's absolutely right. Arabs introduced in our country, and then now synthetic form of opiums are also coming into our country through our border countries like Afghanistan and also Myanmar. And there's widespread cultivation of this in those hilly areas happening, and the synthetic opium farms are also coming into our country. And apart from that, we also have newer drugs which are called as club drugs, which includes recreational drugs, which include stimulants like amphetamines, ecstasy, which is MDMA, methylene diamide with amphetamine. And then we also have, apart from this, these are stimulants basically, these two, both of them.
Are there studies to, like you said, not even a cigarette is okay, but sometimes in some cases, like 1 or 2 pegs of alcohol is okay. Are there studies, or do we have information on every substance about this, sir? Like how much is okay? Like my question here is, how do we draw a line between recreational usage and abuse?
Correct.
How do people understand that?
Correct. See, this data, as you mentioned, is somewhat clearer for alcohol and smoking. But other drugs, other substance abuse drugs, definitely there's a lot of less amount of funding going into the research of these things, and many people have no knowledge about them because many of the patients people don't come out in open and describe what actually is going on, how much they are consuming. In fact, even for example, the substances which come into the market, they're not uniform. Some have more quantity of the toxic products.
Some are bad drugs also.
Some are bad drugs, and they vary in proportion from 5% to 30%. For example, cannabis, the active component is tetrahydrocannabinol. The raw from the bung, what you call it, is consumed in form of leaves, kush leaves.
Which is again okay during Holi.
Yes, and also during Kumbh Mela and Shivaratri. And in fact, it's surprising also to know that this consumption of this marijuana in the form of chillums, as the people rishis use in the Himalaya areas, sadhus I can call that. And during holy times, it is not considered illegal in our country. It is considered general social trend.
I think in Rajasthan there are government recognized bang shops also.
Absolutely. So they have bang lassis, and bang is mixed in tea and had by either sexes. Both males and females also do have during holy season. So that consumption, which is socially acceptable, generally is in mild forms, because oral forms, if you take orally, it goes into the gastrointestinal tract and then gets absorbed. Part of it is metabolism in the liver before it actually goes into the blood and acts on the system in the brain or other parts of the body. So very small proportion of it actually goes and acts in the end organs. So the toxic effects of these are also less compared to other forms of usage like snorting, insufflation through the nose, or people start injecting themselves. So those are very, very harmful. So now, according to our government, obviously, even consumption of this marijuana outside of those two situations like Shivaratri and Holi is considered illegal in the country. Now, even discuss about it is a thing, and it's a taboo. And
people are scared that if they talk about it, people are going to judge them saying they know about it.
Correct.
That's not right.
Absolutely. So, and then we have the other forms like hashish and charas, which are actually produced from the flowering pod of this tree. And if you go on a vacation, when you're going on a road drive and go into interior areas of our country, everywhere, it's not unique to North India, it's also common South India also, where it is known by different names. All of them are fancy names. It is something like, you can say Manala,
Malala cream and
is the-
Idukki gold is from
gold.
Tamil Nadu or something.
And then you have some Mysore mango. Supposedly it says it has a mango flavor.
Grows under the mango trees or
The
something.
different flavors. It's a catchy word for a person who is gullible in the certain situations. So who do you see? We see consume them a lot. Is the younger generation. What we see is around teens, starts around the teens, and where they are not having understanding about themselves totally. They are into education, peer pressure, not able to perform well in
Adolescence.
at the family level, losses of any kind, and relationship losses. So, and also some people also try to experiment and are about curious about what is this.
What's going to happen?
So most of these people who are curious, they generally consume once or twice and then don't go into addiction level.
You think we can solve that problem by actually educating people, sir? Because curiosity comes from not knowing what is there.
Correct.
And then there's no information anywhere and people are telling me something or people are telling them something, you try this and that. But there's no even, probably he can Google it, but I'm saying if we make it like a knowledge that is, supposed to be taught to kids about just the awareness. So you think we can solve that curiosity problem?
Absolutely, because I can see that even at school level, I am surprised to hear that school level this is happening and they're buying.
That was quite a shock for.
It's really a shock actually.
Yeah.
In fact, we all have kids, and we should also try to educate them about what is happening in this country about this particular product and what are the implications of it. What is the harmful effects when you consume at a minor level or a major level, and what are the legal implications of it? So to possess or to sell or carry or to even grow. So if they are made understandable, I'm sure the younger generation will try to incorporate them.
They will be definitely better judges than they are now if we give them the information.
So what is happening is that because it is illegal, illegal doesn't mean that the thing doesn't happen in the country. And 4.6%, just now we discussed, it's a huge amount of population consuming it. So government has to, as in some form, has to tackle this because it's difficult to contain it totally. If you make it illegal, obviously legal means of will go.
Yeah.
So at the same time, if you do it legally, there are few advantages. For example, government can start taxing them. And I was supposedly told by some economists that government can earn over 765 crore of rupees per month if you make marijuana.
But as a society and as a culture, I don't think we
can accept
we're